So our first team players back today.
Yeah.
What exactly is going on here today at the university?
Okay, well basically we're looking at a few different measures that give us a baseline for the season. So we're bringing them in, looking at their weight, their body fat, comparing that to how they left us at the end of the season last year. We're doing some vertical jumps with them. So we'll look at a range of different jumps and look at how we use those and how they sort of interact with each other. So a few different types of measures, and that'll guide our prescription of their training for the early stage of the season. So we'll have a look at that. We'll look at some single leg variations as well, so we can see if there's a difference left to right. We'll be able to see that and then sort of develop their training plan based around that. As well as that, we're looking at a screening, so putting them through some basic movements that they'll be doing in the gym and on the pitch during warm-ups, and we're just looking at any kind of imbalances or any asymmetry, anything that's not quite right, and that allows us to sort of push that on. And if it's perfect, we step it up to another level when we get them back to the training ground and look at them under a little bit more stress, maybe a bit more control, maybe a bit more speed, a bit more weight or load, however we do it. So today's just getting a base level, getting a starting point for the rest of the season. And we'll also put them on an isokinetic machine upstairs that'll look at the function around the knee. So look at how the muscles on the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh interact, and look at those sorts of ratios and compare that with data we gathered last year and the year before to see how the players are developing over a longer period of time.
We talk a lot about the players getting back on the grass. They are on Friday. It's not quite like it used to be up and down.
No, it's changed a little bit since then. We're not going around the canal, so we're at the training grounds. We've got sort of a repeated run test, so we call it a yo-yo test, that a lot of clubs use now, and that'll look into. This measures more of an aerobic function, so it's a slightly slower run. So they'll run probably just around 2.5k each in this run, but repeated 20-metre sort of bursts with a short rest period in between each one that gradually gets quicker and quicker. And essentially, we'll use that on Friday. We'll play a little bit of football as well and get them out on the grass and get them used to that, and just really sort of baby steps to start with on the field, but just ease them in slightly. So what we don't want to do is follow their biggest period of inactivity of the year with their biggest period of activity all at once in one hit. So we'll ease them in gently over the first few days, but then very quickly things will start to ramp up, and by the time we get out to Spain and we're hitting 3 sessions in a day, then I think we'll be at full tilt by then.
You mentioned having the footballs out tomorrow.
Yep.
First game comes along pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, Guiseley away.
What role do the games have in your preparations and fitness?
Oh, they're great. I mean, for the first thing, it's there's a focal point to the week in the sense that there's a game coming, and we're looking to get the physical components of the game into the training sessions, and it allows us to build in terms of the movement and the movement quality, and also the positional stuff as well. So nowadays, instead of sending everybody up a hill to have a run all together, we'll split it down and do things slightly more on an individual basis. So using some of the stuff, the data we're gathering from today in terms of the preparation, their strength work, we'll also look at some of the data we have from last year in terms of their physical capabilities, what they generally will do in a game. We're looking to get them as close as we can back towards that by the time we start to hit these pre-season games. Now obviously there'll be nobody playing 90 minutes on that Saturday against Guiseley, but it'll be a good opportunity for them to get a good 45 minutes in and start to really sort of get into the patterns and the ways of working that they're going to be doing when they hit the season. So
finally, you've seen quite a few of the lads come through this building this morning now. Everyone looking in good shape? Yeah,
I think so. We gave them all good programmes to follow over the summer. They were quite in-depth and got a lot of detail in them. And speaking to a lot of the lads even over the summer, I've had a lot of questions regarding certain elements, and we can keep a little track on who's doing what via their access to some of the online content. So it's good. Yeah, I think a lot of them have worked hard and looking in good shape. So I think we're in a good place to start, let's say.
Mark, first day of testing today. Is it good to be back?
Yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, we've had quite a long time off. Looking forward to getting going now.
It all starts tomorrow for you guys. This is the easy bit, isn't it?
Today's the easy bit, yeah. Tomorrow maybe not so, and then building up from there.
Is pre-season as bad as every footballer makes it out to be?
It depends who you've got in charge, and he's the one in charge, so we'll soon see, won't we?
It's your first full pre-season at Huddersfield Town. Something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's a bit broken up last year, I've got to be honest. Joining in September, I'd rather have myself settled and getting on with it. So looking forward to having that this season.
I suppose the end of last season gave everyone a lot to look forward to as well going into this campaign.
Yeah, we had a really good finish, and we had some good blocks for the season as well. So we've got to get ourselves up and running and try and maintain that form that we had at the end of last season.
Have you had a good summer? A lot of the lads have been doing bits and pieces. Is that something that you do during the summer now?
Yeah, you've got to keep yourself ticking over now. Football's changed in that respect. You can't just stop. Enjoyed a bit of a good break in May and then just built up from there really, just trying to get yourself ready to start tomorrow.
You have a couple of new faces to say hello to. One stood behind you, Dean Whitehead, the other Jason Davidson.
Yeah.
More to come in probably before it's
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that's the plan. Obviously good to get the two guys on board. Like I said, gives them a chance to settle straight away and sort of bed into the team. So that's a good sign. And then, like I said, maybe one or two, maybe more coming in.
Chris has talked a lot about game management in the summer and the need to kind of manage games while they're going on, the players this is. Will Dean's experience help you do that? Yeah,
of course, yeah. He's been around the game as long as I have, and that's what we've probably missed last year, a few more older heads that we needed to sort of, like you said, manage games and see games out when we were ahead, because we were ahead quite a bit in games, and later in games we conceded a few too many. So obviously welcoming him on board definitely is another one that can help.